Hello guys, this is Reed back with the video. Today I will be talking about 7 seeds in the AFC and NFC. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe. So the first seed in the NFC, it's either the Eagles or the 49ers. I'm gonna say 49ers. Let's look at the schedule. Week 1, I have a win. It went. That's a tough game. It could be the Eagles, but I'm gonna go with Niners. Then I have them having a little streak and not, losing some games. Once again, this Niners team is very talented. I think, I think 11-5 is a reasonable. Probably 12-4, reasonable expectation for next season. I like this team next year, but they're gonna need to work on it. For my second seed, I have the Philadelphia Eagles. Take a look at this record. So first I have a win, then a win. But you gotta play the 49ers. I'll give you a loss. You gotta play the Steelers, a loss. But then playing the Baltimore Ravens, I'm gonna give you a win there at home. Eagles will beat the Giants. They'll sweep the Cowboys. They'll beat New York. They'll beat the Browns. Seahawks. Packers will get them. But once again, this is a team. This team can go very far. I think 13-3 is probably reasonable. No, probably around 12-4, around like that. My next seed, I have the Packers at number 3. So I have them beating Minnesota week 1, beating the Lions. You gotta play the Saints. I'll give you a loss. Falcons, a win, but then the Bucks, then the Packers, the Minnesota Vikings, the Jags, the Colts, the Bears, the Lions, the Panthers. I'll give you a loss against the Titans, and then a loss. 11-5. Probably what I'm expecting for this team, but yeah. And then my number 4 seed, I have the Buccaneers. Give you a loss, a win, a loss, a win, a tough win. I'll give the Giants a win, the Bucks, and then you lose to the Panthers. The Buccaneers win. Then I think that you'll get a win right there. Then right around there, you're 10-5, fighting for your playoffs. What was the game? It was the Chiefs game that you would lose. I think 10-6 is a reasonable expectation for the Buccaneers next year. No, I do. I do think that this will be a good team, but they're gonna need to work on it a little. My number 5 seed, I have the New Orleans Saints. Have you beat the Raiders? Win. I will give Saints a win in that game. Saints a win. Then right there, that's the strike. No, number 4 seed, I guess. And then my number 6 seed, I have the Cowboys. Seahawks, win, loss. I have the Bengals, and I will have you beating New York, number 5 seed, in the Bucks, number 6. And then finally, number 7 seed, I have the Seattle Seahawks. So I got you a win. I win. But here comes the tough stretch right here. You gotta win, and then I think the number 5 seed for the Seattle Seahawks, number 6 Cowboys, number 7 Bucks. And this is probably how the playoff picture will go out. I like these teams for my playoffs. Okay, and then number 1 seed in the AFC. I have the Chiefs, of course, winning week 1, winning against the Chargers. This is a good game. Go with the Ravens. I got a win over the Patriots, a win over the Raiders, win, a 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 win. Or maybe they split in one of these games. I think 14-2 is about right for this Kansas City team. You know, this is a good team, but I think that, yeah, that's about right. 14-2, Kansas City. Number 2, I have the Baltimore Ravens. So I'll give you a win over the Browns, a win over the Texans, a win over the Redskins. Win. You gotta play Philadelphia though. In Philadelphia, I will give you a loss. I think the Ravens will win that game. Ravens, the Patriots, the Ravens, the Steelers, Ravens. 13-3 for this team. Lamar Jackson, he's just a great quarterback, and I like 13-3 for this team next year. Good team. But yeah, those are my top 2 seeds. Number 3, I had the Buffalo Bills. So I'll give you a win week 1. You gotta go to Miami, but I'll still give you a win over the Rams, a win over the Raiders, a loss against the Titans. You gotta come to New York. I'll give you a loss, a win. The Cardinals will beat you, a win, Broncos, but then close it out 11-5. You know, this is a good team. Josh Allen, one of the strongest quarterbacks. I think the Buffalo Bills are in great position to possibly win the Super Bowl, but you never know what can happen these days. Number 4, I have the Tennessee Titans. So I got them winning against the Broncos, a win against the Jags, a loss, a win. You gotta go to Cincinnati. I'll give you a loss. Chicago win. Give you a win right there. I'll give you the Colts a win. A win. A loss. And then you're gonna close it out. No. A win. Then a loss. I think 10-6 is a reasonable expectation for this team. I think the Tennessee Titans will, make a playoff run possibly next year. We never know though. Number 5, I have Pittsburgh Steelers, so I have them winning against the Giants, a win against the Broncos, a win against the Texans, a win against the Browns, a win against the Bengals, a win against the Jags, a win against the Redskins, a loss, but then I'm going to close it out strong, 11-5 for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Big Ben, when he comes back from retirement, this will be the team to beat. I like this team next year. But anything can happen. Really. I mean, you could ask a bunch of people how are the Steelers gonna do. I mean, they could go 14-2. They could win the NFL. But from my perspective, I give the Steelers a pretty decent record. At the number 7, number 6, I have the Los Angeles Chargers. Getting rid of Phillip Rivers is a good thing, but let's see how they square up. I'll give you a win against the Bengals, a win against the Panthers, a win against the Jets. You lost in Miami, but you'll bounce back. 5-6. I will give you a loss, but then you're gonna close it out strong. Show some pride. 9-7. I think this is a great team, and I think that this is a team. And number 7, I have the Raiders. See how they do. So I have them beating the Panthers. I have them beating the Patriots. I have the Browns beating them. Then they're gonna bounce back, lose to the Falcons. But I think this Raiders team, it's gonna be a bad team. But I don't think the rest of the AFC will be as good next year. Maybe the Colts can get in, sneak in. I don't think so though. I think that 7-9. I think the Raiders will make the playoffs. Now I'm actually gonna do the playoffs for these teams. Let's look. Alright, so these are the playoff teams. Everyone, so our first matchup, I have the Steelers and the Titans playing. This is a tough game, but I'm going to go with the Titans in a close game. The Bills-Chargers game, another good game, but the Bills are probably, they're at home. It's a win. And then the Ravens, of course, beat the Raiders. The Seahawks playing the Saints. You know, this is a physical game, but I do think Russell Wilson will, get it done. And I also do think that Dak Prescott will make his second appearance in the divisional round. And the Buccaneers have to come to Philadelphia. I like the Eagles a lot. I don't want to be biased. I'm not trying to be biased, but I don't think the Buccaneers, I don't know. We haven't seen as much of them in the playoffs. So we don't know how they're going to play next year, but 10-6 probably, but I have the Eagles still as a better team and winning or making the playoffs. These next games, I have the Ravens playing the Bills. This is going to be an interesting game, but I have the Ravens beating the Bills, and the Chiefs will beat the Titans. Seahawks, Eagles. It could be the Eagles. We don't know, though. I don't want to be biased, but I do think the Eagles will beat the Seahawks just because they're at home. I think that it's going to be every year. I do think that the Eagles will, always win and always. I think they'll beat the Seahawks, and then I have the 49ers beating the Cowboys. Chiefs Ravens is going to be a great game, but Chiefs are at home. I give them a win, and I have the 49ers beating the Eagles. Now, this is the Super Bowl. This is a tough game. I will give it to the 49ers this year. This is a crazy Super Bowl. This is a crazy playoff bracket. The Packers could beat the Cowboys, but I do think that the Packers will, lose to the Cowboys. Those were my, 7 seeds and updated playoffs. I hope you like this. Please like and subscribe and have a nice day.